to order. And we are going to welcome everybody and thank you so much for being excited about being on the tourism board. We're excited always for people that care about tourism in our area. So, who would like to go first?
I'm going to do roll call.
Oh, sorry.
Camilla Campbell?
Here.
Tom Kress?
Here.
Nancy Lackey?
Yes.
Joyce Salazar?
Here.
Stein Michaels?
Here. Okay. Who would like to go first? Or should we just...
Want to just go off the sheet?
Yeah, I
The
don't
one
have
vote.
a sheet, so... Oh, yeah.
Do Amanda first?
Amanda. Okay, great.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Good morning to all of you. If you have not met me before, my name is Amanda Luttrell. I'm 27 years old, and I am currently running and helping my grandfather run Bob and Earl's Cafe, located on Robinson Avenue, right off of Highway 12 here in Trinidad. I have been back here in Trinidad now for 1 year and 4 months. I was born here, and I grew up until I was 10 years old. When I was 10, my mom wanted us to move somewhere else that was a little closer to some extended family. We had cousins up in North Dakota, so we moved to the Arctic tundra of North Dakota. I remember being 10 years old and asking my mom as soon as we pulled in if we had moved to the North Pole. Just having a little bit of Colorado and a little bit of North Dakota and Minnesota in me, I think makes me kind of an interesting hybrid. I like to be outside. I'm a dog lover, I'm an art lover, a music lover, a really very passionate people person that believes in the craft that I do. And ultimately that is the restaurant business, but I'm also a teacher at heart. I graduated from MSUM, which is Moorhead University State, Minnesota, in Moorhead, Minnesota in 2017 with a bachelor's in elementary education. The platform that I've had learning about education and learning about myself as a leader has helped me move into the running of a restaurant. It also does give me a platform to be an empathetic leader and also somebody who works for the people, the service that you're in. I also have a lot of experience in the restaurant industry, from bartending to waitressing to late nights in college. I have both of these things that have come together and kind of have brought me to the position where I am currently. So like I said, I've been back in Trinidad for 1 year and 4 months. I've always considered Trinidad, Colorado home. We would visit every summer and would go hiking up in Bear Lake, and so I've got a pretty good idea of what kind of scenery and what kind of places we have to visit here in Trinidad. And just in that 1 year and 4 months, it's been amazing what I can see in a place that I've known for such a long time with a new, fresh set of eyes. I feel like as an adult coming back to a place that I've loved and held so dearly to myself, I have more opportunities to be involved with things that matter and to move forward into my adulthood and make a difference in the community that I'm choosing to stay in. Last April, I was a participant in the Taste of Trinidad, which was my first career event and first community event. I was able to meet people who shared my industry and also new people who were interested in learning about how to make Trinidad somewhere that people wanted to visit. The participating in Taste of Trinidad was an excellent icebreaker for me. I was able to meet people like Nancy Lackey and also stand close to my grandmother and learn and share about the place that I've loved for such a long time and offer it up to the people of Trinidad. I love my community is an understatement, and I'm not only involved in the community of Trinidad, Colorado, but I'm involved in different communities such as my friends and family that I surround myself with, the place that I work, which would include my employee community and also the people who come in as tourists and the locals that come in to eat every day. I'm also a part of the open mic community at Los Animas Grill. I'm a part of the community at the gym where I work out, the place where I get my coffee. All of these little places are places where I've met new people, where I've been able to introduce myself, discuss my reason for being here and why I want to create more of a space for others. I was a part of the Growing Together Community Garden in college. For 2 years, I was a children's leader where we worked with surrounding neighborhoods of immigrants as well as low-income families and high-end income families to come together to make food or grow food in order for us to help each other take it home and supply each other with the skills that we've learned over the years about gardening. That's another one of my passions. I love to garden. I love to be outside. So being a part of the Growing Together community allowed me to organize events. It allowed me to be a teacher or a leader of the children's group and work together with the adults so that I could learn what they learned in order to teach what needed to be passed on. I also was the co-president of my college organization, Ostara, which was a awareness and fundraising group for the Children's Miracle Network Hospital in our local city. We were able to raise over $5,000 in 6 months. This was a brand new organization started by myself and another lady, and we had a pretty good experience with what it takes to persevere in creating something purely based on passion and caring. It was difficult, to say the least, but we did it, and we ended up raising money for the children in our area, and the organization is still alive today. I'm also a restaurant operator, and with that you have to understand not only your community of guests or customers, but also your community of employees and people within the upper part of business that you have to work with, such as your food distributors, the people who come and collect your linens for the day. You have to build a community with every single person you pass with in the restaurant business, and especially being an operator or runner of a restaurant, you need to be a people person that's willing to share what you have, accept what other people have, and put it together to create something good. I'm a natural born leader with confidence and the ability to influence others. I like to think that because I'm a natural born leader, I'm a teacher. And it doesn't matter if I'm teaching a group of third graders or if I'm teaching a group of 15-year-olds at their first job. I'm teaching, and I'm allowed to share the skills that I have with others. Ultimately I'm here because I would like to involve myself more with the community. I feel that the communities that I've mentioned to you that I'm already a part of are small and meaningful, but the ability to be on a tourism board that has information and actual facts about what's happening in the community, I'm able to be an ambassador for tourism here in Trinidad. Given the things we can hear from other people through the grapevine, being a full source of what is actually happening could be an excellent opportunity for me in my communities to discuss what's going on in Trinidad. I also really have a firm belief that we need to focus on who is already here and what they're doing in the community, and involve them with the people that are coming in, the new people that are going to be here, because without each other, none of them can exist, and none of them can exist together. So that's another thing that I think has really been a very important part of being an insider and an outsider of Trinidad, because I feel like I'm a part of the community, but I also feel like there are certain things that I don't have full knowledge of, but would like to get full knowledge of, or would like to work together with those who do have the knowledge of, so that we can create a community that is intertwined with each other. It shouldn't just be about just the visitors or just the tourists. It should be about the combination of the people who stay here, who live here, who work here, who provide business opportunities, and us to work together with the people who are coming in. I love being a young person in business. I think that I finally have found my home. I feel like I finally found my niche. The thing that I like to do most is to be around people and to make change and to influence kindness and to influence goodness. And so being in the restaurant business, you really do have an opportunity to meet with not only your employees, but also the people that come in to eat at your restaurant, to just kind of make a better world. And through food, I think we can do that. I will be a person forward that wants to spread the word. Like I said, I have a huge base of not only tourists but locals that come through Bob and Earl's Cafe. We're located on Highway 12. Anybody during the summer months here knows that it's a little bonkers. So we have an huge influx of people that are visiting, wanting to check out the scene, check out the restaurants in town. Being right on Highway 12, on an average Saturday or Sunday, I might see up to 60 new people at least in an hour, you know, so it just, it feels like my platform could be so further enriched if I had the tools, and the skills and the information to pass along to people rather than, this is what I like to do. And as good as that is, as good as it is to tell people, you have to take the drive on Highway 12. You have to hit the dam coming right at sunset so you can see the mountains and the glimmer on the lake. So I think that my platform with the locals and also with the tourists that are coming in is an excellent place for me to speak the piece, for me to get out information, for me to be an advocate and an ambassador for tourism. I'm also a young person who is able to navigate technology, and let's be honest, when somebody comes to Trinidad, what's the first thing they do? Google, where should I eat? Play restaurants near me, jewelry shop near me. So they're going to want to use that platform, and as a person who is trained in that platform, I can help with maybe making the tourist part just as much as restaurants near me, you know, just making sure that what people are looking for specifically, we can create a platform that's going to give them all of the things that they need, and make it easily accessible. So I guess I'm a people person that thrives on conversation, I'm honest and helpful, and I would love to be your next passionate ambassador for tourism here in Trinidad.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And it really, I'm so glad that you moved back to your hometown. Why did your mom move?
She had stayed here her whole life, and I don't think that it was where she wanted to grow. So we had, like I said, extended family with cousins our age up in North Dakota, and that was a safe place that she had been to before, a place that she had known a couple people, and she's still up there. And wishes she were here. So
there you go. And then you are a natural born leader, and you mentioned you love teaching. How did you decide to run the restaurant?
It was one of those things that fell right into place. I had moved back here. I had my Minnesota teaching degree, my Arizona teaching degree, and I think after my student teaching, I did my student teaching in France, I felt my wings were out and they were ready to go, and I didn't want to land back in North Dakota. So I was trying to find my spot. I lived in Phoenix for a while and moved here to Trinidad after speaking with my grandfather, who said, I just need some help right now. And I said, you know what, I do too. And so we helped each other, and it kind of started as a couple days a week in the restaurant while also substitute teaching throughout the schools here in Trinidad. And the more I worked in the restaurant, the more I got to know the abilities that I have and the skill set that I have, and really honing in on the fact that service and hospitality, along with leading and educating and staying current, is the life that I want to live. The schedule was I really liked the schedule. I really liked, you know, teaching work ethic, and it was one of those things that fell into place, and it had finally felt right.
Cool. And as a child, not now, but as a child, do you remember what you looked forward to when you came to Trinidad?
Always the restaurant. We always look forward to eating at Bob and Earl's, getting a plate of chili fries, blueberry pancakes, but also the Highway 12 drive was always something we were, you know how you have these memories from being a kid. I just remember jumping over rocks in a creek, which sounds silly,
no,
but
it was just from a child's point of view.
It was, and being in a place like North Dakota where you don't necessarily you have the river, you have a few things, but you don't have the scenery that we have here. And to me, this has always been the draw. This has always been the place that I wanted to explore. So I came home, seeing Grandma and Grandpa, downtown bricks. I remember a lot. I remember the bricks. I always remember driving on the bricks, and, you know.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
I got a question. So one of the biggest things that I came into when I got this board was learning that you control some of the money, you know, the lodging tax and stuff, and it goes to the tourism, you know, to all the tourists that, like restaurants, especially in the businesses. So say you have $50,000 and you get to control it, where would you put it to create more tourists?
To create more tourism.
And you're in control of 50,000. What would be where would you spend that money?
Okay. I think that we do need to support the restaurants and the hotels in town but also some of the other businesses that are here, or maybe using some of that money to create advertising or pairing with, see, and this is a part of the board that I really do want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I feel my experience with the restaurant and coming in and dealing with numbers like this, big numbers, and saying, okay, what are you going to do with it? What's your best way to plan and to operate? I can only tell you that I've been able to figure out how to do it with the restaurant, and I hope that I can figure out how to do it with the tourism board. At this point, I guess I don't want to give you the wrong answer, so I'm just going to say
And
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's a right or wrong answer, but
Mhm.
I think kind of coming on the tourism board, from what I learned is, like, we want new ideas,
Mhm.
and I'm coming off the board,
Mhm.
so I definitely want to have someone that's coming on the board that has new ideas, new technology, that's thinking outside the box, not just the same old stuff, because the same old stuff isn't working.
Right.
I think you gotta grow with times,
Mhm.
and the time is now, you know, to make Trinidad go forward. There's so much cool things happening in Trinidad, and like now I think we need to all jump on and push it. So that's kind of why I was asking the question, is just, we have so much control, so much money,
Mhm.
and you can control it. You know, the board members control where that money goes to, and I don't want it to go to something where you're spending X amount of dollars to something that doesn't work.
Right.
You know, and I want someone that has a strong voice that will say no to that.
Mhm.
You know, not just go along with the other board members.
Right. So my answer to that is that I don't know yet, but given the opportunity, given the leadership, given the education about it, I think I will have a good say of what I believe will be helpful. Not just fall into the same routine, but try new things. Because let's be honest, in the restaurant we're trying new things too.
Constantly.
And it's a constant, you know, we're thinking about merchandise now, and it's something that's never even crossed the minds of Earl, but it's just moving with the times, I guess. So that's my answer. I'll try.
I've been on the board for 3 years now, and when I first came on, there was a lot of money that was being spent in places that I didn't like, so we kind of adjusted a lot of those things. And my thing is I appreciate you knowing a lot about Google, because that's what we're losing Joey. He's
Sure.
kind of directed us in that sense,
Mhm.
and I appreciate you giving us that knowledge of that information from you. But one of the things is, were you able to get how the tourism tax is generated, or did you get any of that information? Yeah, I advise you to get those and read them.
Okay.
It's how our money is brought in.
Okay.
And the way I feel about it is, the more people that we have coming from out of town, staying in town,
Mhm.
is where our money's generated.
Mhm.
For us to help restaurants, motels, and even possibly try to create a festival,
Mhm.
other than the ones that are all gone. Like Nancy's leaving, and that's one of her suggestions, is for us to create some, an addition to the city, you know. The Blues Fest is kind of downsizing. They're moving from Central Park, or moving to downtown. I don't know if last year you've seen how, did you go downtown? Yeah.
Yep.
It's, in the last 2 years, it's growing.
Mhm.
Same as the Arcade is growing. The Labor Day, I would like to see it grow more. What's the other festival we have downtown?
Okay.
The Arcade, but
Santa Fe Trails.
Santa Fe Trails. I would like to see that take a new direction, but you know, and we're taking part in the 200th year of Santa Fe Trail with them, and I would like to see that take a new direction, you know. So I think I love the way you spoke today. I see the energy in you, and wanting to learn and wanting to help. So I appreciate that.
Totally. Can I have a copy of that, Jackson? I'm just kidding. Or where can I
No,
find it?
I can have, there's one on boards and commissions also that you should have,
Okay.
and this one. And then that way you have kind of an idea.
Totally. And I'm a lifelong learner. That's another thing about me, is that there's no limit to what is important or what can be learned. So.
One of the questions that I wanted to ask you was, we took on the Welcome Center. It's under our umbrella now. We went from 150,000 visitors to 20,000. And that was because they redirected the on and off ramp to where it now sits. We have to make a decision what to do with this welcome center to bring more people into this town. Would you have any ideas? You know,
Being a restaurant that is secluded on Highway 12, I know a lot about inhibitants of location. I feel that when I get a phone call from somebody who's frustrated and has said, I cannot find your restaurant anywhere. I've been driving around this roundabout and I don't know where to go. The best thing I can offer is the information or the facts of how you're supposed to get there. And I think location is a huge part of the success of my business and also sometimes the fall of it. Because people aren't passing by on their way home from work, they're not noticing the signs saying, come in and eat, good food as always. I think location would probably be the number one factor in changing how many people are seeing the tourism center and how many people are willing to say, you know what, it's right there, let's just stop. Let's see what we can find out. I think location is probably the biggest thing. Or a absolutely ridiculously huge way of saying, hey, it's worth it, this is why it's worth it, and this is what you have to do precisely to get here. No roundabouts, no ifs, ands, or buts, just the facts of how to get there, why it's important, and make it accessible.
Hi Amanda, you have an impressive resume.
Thank you.
In thinking of submitting your application to become a tourism board member, do you have in mind an event, a type of event that tourism could sponsor on its own?
I think with being a part of the open mic community, we see, and it never fails, every Friday, every Thursday, I hear from someone in the audience that says, man, we've got a lot of talent here. And they wouldn't even think twice that this is a place, and talking to Lainey Parker, who said, 10 years ago, I would never have imagined to see as many people on this stage as I see right now. I think, and being a music lover, being a member of a choir for so many years, I think a musical event is something that generates, obviously, so much passion and so much intrigue for people. We have bands that perform everything from country to reggae to pop music, the upbeat Slim Pickens that's in band that is in town that has made such a huge impact in the 2 months that they've been performing. My band, who does kind of folky, acoustic-y, slow stuff. I think we have such a wide array of musicians in this town that would really, truly just like to be a part of something, and that wouldn't have to be, flown in from LA or paid thousands of dollars to have perform. If they got to be a part of their community and showcase the skill set that they have, I think a lot of people would be willing to do that.
So, I think it's an excellent idea. It's also the planning, the event, the coordination, and that's where anybody that works outside of a board always has problems with time commitments.
Sure.
So it's also the forging ahead, just like you were talking about with your community garden.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. That leads me to my next question. How do you see economic development being a partner with tourism?
As far as I know, I think that we're not funded by the city. That's what I have learned.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, sorry, ask that one more time, Nancy.
Okay. Do you see that there is a partnership in economic development with tourism?
Absolutely. I think that because we're not funded by the city, we have an entirely different scope and an entirely different perspective on how important it is for us to thrive and where we put that money. Like you said, this is not just, being a part of economic development. We have to be forward movers. We have to be thinking, is this something that's going to affect us negatively or positively in the next 10 to 5 years? I think that because we do have the outside it's kinda like that inside-outside thing. It's, having something that's maybe funded, closer to the outside, but still pours itself into the community and into the goodness of the community is already part of the economic development. It's already, it's kind of, the word I'm looking for is sustain or nurturing, or it's complementary, it's supportive of that community, in not saying, well, we have $50,000 that we didn't get from the city, let's go spend it on something for ourselves. Let's spend it on something that we would rather have rather than the community needs, or that the community would benefit from. So I think just in that aspect of choosing to pour those funds back into the community is a part of the economic development.
Okay, so one last thing I'll add on to what Tom suggested. I would suggest you get a copy of the ordinance that set tourism board aside from city, or it's part of the city, but to understand how it's conducting its business.
Okay. And where can I?
I'll have them make some copies.
Lovely.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
I would just like to add to that list of couple things is our recap that we did for city council of what we've done this year. She should be updated, or whoever gets it should be updated
I
and
think
all
whoever gets
that.
it.
Pardon me?
Probably whoever gets it.
Whoever gets it should be
Yeah.
updated to what we've done last year, so that.
Thank you.
No, do you have any
Okay.
questions or questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Jody.
Hello. Hello. I did not prepare anything close to that. You did
No one does.
Amazing. And I'm dealing with a thing here, so I'm gonna try. My name is Jody Van Busker. I own the cafe on Main Street and have for 8.5 years. This was not always my community. I was born and raised in Raton. Went to school in New Mexico State down in Las Cruces. I'm also an educator who would rather never teach a day of school ever again. I do love the restaurant industry. Leaps and bounds above the education system. It's a rough one. Moved to New York City, where I spent the majority of my young adulthood, and then moved back to this area to be closer to my family. I have a 7-year-old little boy, so throughout the number of years that I have been here, I've been asked numerous times by numerous board members who've come and gone to be on the tourism board. Having a small infant child and a business and everything hitting me all at once, I never felt like I had the time, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure if I still have the time. I'm anticipating being on another board in the next month or so, hopefully. But I'm interested to find out what the tourism board does, how it does intertwine with economic development, what my part could possibly be to help, to better, to create, to give ideas, to become more involved in my community. So honestly, I don't know what this board does. I would love to learn. I would love to find out, and potentially become a part of it and help drive tourism in a town that has zero industry. We have no industry. We have to thrive on everything else except industry. So I think that that's what y'all's job is, and I would like to help and be part of it.
So our main role is, a tax was passed in 2002, that, it was an initiated tax by the citizens to, have a 3% lodging tax on all, and everywhere you sleep in town. And that tax money goes into a private account from the city, and we oversee the funding for that. We also oversee the operations of the Welcome Center.
Okay.
That's
great.
the type.
Did not
version
know
of it.
that.
Yeah.
Did not know that that's where the money came from.
Yeah, it came from Yeah.
Okay.
So, the board itself is comprised of one hotel person, 2 restaurant people, and 2 overall people,
Mhm.
that are related to the tourism industry in some fashion. And, that's the short version. The long version is pages.
I'm sure I'm
Yeah.
gonna need copies.
Yeah, absolutely.
To figure it
Absolutely.
all out,
Absolutely.
but, oh, go ahead.
The other thing, Jody, I will suggest is that there are grant applications that citizens involved in events come to us and request funding for their event.
Okay.
Such as Blues Fest, Artocade, any event, big or small. It is an extensive, I think, we've really improved the application, which, also allows us to, decide how the money will be dispersed and in what increments, rather than is in years past that all of the money would be doled out without performance. So there is, you'll get paid if you play kind of situations where we're at now, and it's been a huge money saver for us.
Okay. In our city, which you might know of, a year and a half or 2 years ago, went through a program called the Craft 101 Initiative. And with that, it sort of took our city and decided which way the tourism board would function the best by going by a guideline. Andrew, who worked at the city here, worked hard with the Craft 101, the CTO office, to produce a game plan for us that we have pretty much followed over the last year.
Okay.
We also operate under the guise of the Colorado Tourism Office as far as the Welcome Center, so it's a partnership. I guess we ought to emphasize
Yeah.
that.
Right.
And there are discussions in that topic that I think this next board will have to start discussing.
Okay. When you were in New York City, what did you do in New York City?
I was the #1 sales rep in New York City for 3.5 years from the time I started.
For
to the time.
selling what?
Beer, wine, and spirits.
Oh, wow.
I did. I ran the Lower East Side of Manhattan. I had 267 bars as my account base, plus all the key accounts, which is like Madison Square Garden, the big hitters. Yeah.
How did you get into that?
It started because I was always in the service industry. I was always a bartender. I was always a waitress. And then, if you've ever been to New York City, the bars close at 4 a.m. If they close. So I was, working from 10 to 6, and sleeping, and 10 to 6, and it got tiresome. And so the bar owner that I worked for everybody called him the Bud guy. His name is Jimmy. So I told him one day, I said, I want to move to the other side. I'm done bartending, and I want to be on the other side. So he got me an interview, and they hired me, and shot to the top. And
Which brings me to this question. You're applying for a liquor license.
yeah.
And where are you going, how is this going to be set up within are you expanding or?
No.
Okay.
I'm not looking to do late night crazy.
No, I mean the physical setup.
Right, no, it's just gonna be beer, wine with lunch.
Oh, okay.
I have a couple of new ideas to do like a little happy hour with nice beers, nice wines, like charcuterie kind of platters, and something nice to offer to more than likely locals. Because I get a lot of questions about
Right.
where
Where to go?
people would love somewhere to go.
Yeah.
So it's an option, but
Do you have an event in mind that you would like to see this board sponsor to bring in tourists? Because remember, that's how this board gets funded. It's not just the locals.
right. No,
In fact, the locals don't really support the
Me.
board financially.
they don't support me either. I'm a good 94% travelers
Right.
in
Well,
my establishment. So yeah, no, bringing people into this town is key
So
for
do you
everybody's survival.
have you ever thought about an event that you would like to see the tourism board specifically, rather than another funding request, promote here in Trinidad?
At this time, I don't know. I know that there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of potential. We've got a lot of great things going on. I would love to brainstorm with the group and come up with something great, because the ones that we already have, Artocade, Santa Fe Trail Days, and Blues Fest, are huge events. that give us some seriously great publicity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've heard it, a couple people request that we throw parades every other weekend.
Oh, yeah.
But just like with 50 people, I'm
Yeah.
like, that doesn't bode well for our community. These big events that make us look like this
Mhm.
insanely great community that comes together and puts on something amazing, that's, I think, is how we're gonna get our notoriety. So I would like to create a new one, I just don't know
What's your
where the niche is.
What's your understanding of the up and coming industry in outdoor recreation?
That's it, we're about to put in the second largest national park in Colorado. Right here.
In conjunction with New Mexico.
Right.
Mhm.
There's huge potential there.
Mhm.
If there's anything that Coloradans like more than drinking, is probably outdoor stuff, you know, like they love being outdoors, on bikes, on hiking trails, the potential's huge.
Mhm.
I just don't know where it is yet.
Mhm.
Which other board are you looking to join?
The Downtown Entertainment District,
Oh.
once I get a liquor license, I will automatically be
In the
on that.
entertainment district?
Mhm.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I got another question.
Hit me.
So, I'm a fellow restaurant owner, just like some people on here, and I know that your business is totally different than some of the other businesses in town, and we've had talks about this too. Most of your business is tourist.
Mhm.
For one, me owning a restaurant, coming off the board, what can you do, and I'm speaking on other restaurants in town, coming on the board, what can you do to help my business? Because really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get someone on this board that's looking out for other businesses in town, not just to create tourist income into my restaurant
Right.
and everybody else's restaurant. And what ideas do you have to create that? Like, how can you boost my business besides your business and everybody else's business? That's what I'm looking for. We're looking for someone on tourism. The whole point of tourism is to create tourists coming into town to spend money. When you have the money available to you, what can you do with it to help all the restaurants and the other businesses in town get people fill their doors and fill their seats?
That is a big request of one person.
Exactly. But that's what I'm looking for, people on this
I
board, is to
agree
fill that position.
100%. Small town mentality is not a word that I would normally just throw out there, but it has presented itself numerous times. There is a restaurant owner in town who comes into my restaurant and says, "Oh, did you hear?" And I said, "Did I hear what?" "They want to put another restaurant on Main Street." I said, "That's great. No, there's already 3 of us. That's plenty." I said, no. Can you imagine if we had 30 restaurants, great, diverse restaurants on Main Street? We would become a mecca. We would become, don't stop till you get to Trinidad, you know? And that's what I would like Trinidad to be. And I felt like we were for a while there. And side note, the last year has been rough. She's been here for a year and a half, so I'm not sure she really got to be part of that heyday that we were all part of for the last 7 years, but it has plummeted, and something has to happen, something needs to happen. It's also part of the driving factor as to why I'm here. It's not just my business, it's everybody's business.
Right.
From retail to hotels to restaurants, it is drastic, the decline in sales over the last year, which is right. So I would like to have something happen that I would like us to start driving something. I just don't know what it is yet. Again, I don't feel like that as an individual that's my job. I feel like as a team, that is our job, to try and figure out where we go from here.
One thing I love when people, out of town people come into my shop, where do we eat? And I just don't pick out one restaurant, I give the whole layout to everybody. I do, because
We appreciate that.
you know, it's just the way, what do you like and where do you wanna go, and I just send them all over. And one thing, I'm like you, there's some people that come into my shop and say, oh, what do we need? We need more shops downtown. I am not worried about competition whatsoever. I've been there 14 years.
Yeah.
I'm not worried. I want people to come down and get the full aspect of Trinidad. Restaurants, shops, everything, a wide variety. So I'm with you on that. And we do need the tourists. And yes, it has been down quite a bit. But we're just gonna keep our head up and keep
Absolutely.
moving forward,
Absolutely.
And it'll work. You'll
Drive
work it
through
out.
it.
We'll drive through it.
Come up with some new ideas.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll drive through it. You know, they will come. They have been coming. They will continue to come. I hear over and over and over again, people coming into my shop, how much they love Trinidad.
Yeah.
For the day trippers out of Colorado Springs to the day trippers out of Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't even come tonight. We want them to spend the night, and most of them do.
They're here for a very, very short amount of time.
Right.
And then they
But
go on
I'm
about their
also
business.
a very
but-
big advocate that these people that have been coming from Colorado Springs and Amarillo have not just been coming a couple of years for the pop. They have been coming here for years.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
And they make it their annual trip a couple times a year, and they stay because they love the small town feel. And that's what sometimes people don't, they always think, oh, a pot's bringing them. No, it's not. They have been coming for many, I have a family that's been coming up for 11 years. I've seen their kids grow up from Amarillo. 2 trips a year they come. They don't come for a while. So that's what I also would like to get out. It's just not about that. It's about our community. The people they love talking to the people downtown because we're all very friendly. And that's it for me. Thank you very much.
No, you're good. You're good. I agree 100%. I have to give some credit to the marijuana industry. It just happened at the right time as the tourists started pounding us, but I have to give some credit to that. I'm not sure that is my clientele. But you'd be surprised, they say that the majority of the customers are 62, retired, and want to try it, but I want to do it legally. So, you never know who the customer is. But my business has been thriving for 8 years. I had a woman come in 2 days ago, and I think we do lose sight of how beautiful our little town is. We get a little streamlined and focused and forget how pretty this town is. And she came in and she ordered food and a coffee, and she said, "This is such a beautiful little town. It's just so sad." And I said, "What is sad?" She said, "Well, you were just recently given the name of the 10th most dangerous and crime-ridden city in Colorado." So, that being said, my thinking is that tourism is not always about creating. Tourism could be about preventing. So I don't know if there is an option to allot money towards crime prevention.
Yeah,
I don't think that it is, but
it's not. We're supposed to do advertising, but it is in a
just
whole.
advertising.
Like us hotels have been hurt that the rest of the town doesn't see because there's been over, I can check with the police department, but in the last 2 years there's been, I really even hate to quote it, 60, 70, 80 break-ins in our cars in the hotel area. And that really has hurt our hotels because with some Texas crowd, they we hear that, the reason why they don't return. And that has been an underlying kind of sadness at our street corner out there for all of us, our hotels. And even the Super 8's gotten a little bit of it, but out by where the Holiday and the Quality and the painting gets it. We had them the other day.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's an article in today's paper. I think the fact that Tony Moderano got attacked yesterday, or Monday, whichever day it was, is like a lightning bolt.
It's a turning point, huh?
It
What
is.
I didn't even know what happened.
Well, they broke in he was there at 5:30 in the morning.
His house?
No, the
No,
restaurant.
but
Tony's diner.
At the restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
gosh, okay.
Yeah.
There is, and that's kind of where the thinking needs to change on the tourism board. There is money you could spend for this. I was just in Las Vegas and they did a pop-up security camera system at Walmart. And what they did is they logoed it with all the business names on it. So the way the tourism works, as long as you advertise, you could buy stuff like this. So tourism board can buy camera systems and all this stuff as long as they advertise towards it.
Right.
So if they put a sign up there, sponsored by the city of tourism, or we're here to protect the tourists, you can pop up a camera or a makeshift thing, you know, and we can purchase that stuff. There is different ways of purchasing this kind of stuff, it's just you gotta think outside.
Slippery slope, you
You
have
just
to
gotta
figure
think
it out,
outside the
right.
box, you gotta get out of town,
I'm
you
not
gotta get out of
saying-
Trinidad to
yeah.
see some of this stuff.
And I'm not saying that it's the tourism board's job. We're not police officers, we're not
But yeah,
security
no.
officers, but that it is something that is affecting our tourism
Mhm.
and our businesses. So I don't know if there's,
Well, it's also affecting future economic, that's why I'm asking, what is your understanding of economic development and tourism? Because tourists do come here to investigate the town. Regardless of the incident for the, Pop's bike shop and the kid that got beat up,
right.
he wrote a letter to the editor, which now is worldwide because it's public out there. It doesn't give us good light when you're trying to have tourists come to town. We have an economic development director. I had a discussion with him and I said, first of all, Safeway is one of the most dangerous spots at night because I go many times at night for supplies. And you have to run in and run out. So
There's a little campground out there.
there
in
is,
the front.
it's
Yeah,
not
I
safe.
know, I know.
It's just not safe. And that is not good for tourism or economic development. And I do think that is also the city issue, so.
No, it's a big issue that I don't, we are not the only people discussing this right now.
I
It
know.
is citywide and everybody's trying to figure it
There
out.
is a neighborhood watch meeting coming up and I would encourage everybody to go.
Yeah.
Vince, does anybody have any?
Me.
No.
Yep. Yes, sir.
One of the things that you said was 94% of your business comes off the highway. We have over 1 million people that come through Trinidad through this I-25. How have you been able to how do you feel you've been able to get that percentage into the downtown area? Because that's what I want to see. I want to see more of these people coming into town, whether it's us being part of the city and cleaning it up, the appearance of it, you know. But I like what you say. You have 94% of your customers are from out of town,
They are.
and that's what I want to hear is.
I did that solely without advertising. That was my
Your reviews
purposefully.
must be good.
I chose not to advertise. I was asked numerous times and I didn't. Open forums, TripAdvisor, any of those. My customers do a great job for me, but my reputation, the product, the service, the atmosphere.
It's return business.
But it's people going from Boulder to Santa Fe, Albuquerque to Denver that will stop at my restaurant every time they go through, which turns into every table packed in a line out the door every afternoon, up until recently, which is very heartbreaking. But my restaurant would pack out every single day, and I would recognize maybe 5 faces in a given afternoon. And then, you know, I get people, oh my God, we're from Florida. Our friends in Austin told us we have to stop here. So it was just word of mouth, and I think I gotta give some of it to Trinidad becoming this great little last affordable mountain town that everybody wanted to come see, and they did for a while, and they will again.
They will.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of our things is we're the advertising agency for the city. We're here to promote the city. We have the golf course, we have Monument Lake, which is 36 miles away. We have an aquatic center. These are the things this is all we have to promote to come into the city.
Right.
Our architectural buildings, the museums. But this is our main thing, is for us advertising to come and stay in our city, stay in our motels. This is where we generate our money. I want to know, you know, in just a little bit for me telling you what it is. What would you bring to the table to us?
As
to
an
help us
idea?
in these things. Do you
An
think
advertising
Trinidad,
idea?
do you think Trinidad needs more? We're making an acquisition of Fisher's Peak. It's gonna become, it is a state park now,
Right.
and the development of it.
Right.
What we want is we want to advertise this city with things that are here to bring, to offer to them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so. I want somebody to bring something to the table. This is my idea for us helping to promote this town and to bring in these people off of this I-25.
The first question was, do you think we need more? Yes. We have to adapt and keep adjusting with whatever's happening around us. As far as just my great idea, I don't know what it is. There's gotta be something. Yes, we have great museums. I will be honest with you, I've never gone to a town and been like, go see the museums here. I'm not that person. I'm a 7-year-old. He wants to go do something super fun, Mom. Can we go do something fun? Okay, what's fun to do in this town? I don't have a whole lot of answers for people when they're in my restaurant. I'm like, I ride the trolley. Kids have been in the car all day. Oh, yeah, okay. You go to the, you know, they don't particularly, the water park at the park here, the little lily pad thing, that was a huge thing, and it hasn't really worked for 2 or more years. But travelers would stop there and go play. They would get lunch to go for me and go down there. We're gonna go play in the water. And so, I mean, there's fun stuff to do. I just don't know if it's feasible for travelers. It's more feasible for people who are going to stay the night, which is the end goal. I don't know.
One of the issues that's selected to the board that you'll discover, Jody, is that how our mission coincides or doesn't with the city. Like you mentioned, the water park at Chimino, off and on, off and on, off and on. While it can be promoted visually in ads, if it's not working, it's counterproductive. So, as on any board, there's always going to be controversy, and you have to be able to be strong enough to maintain your position. And I know you, and I'm sure you will.
Well, thank you. And then again, the lily pad's a great selling point.
Right.
Have you ever seen the little corner over there by the bathrooms?
Mm-hmm.
On any given day,
Mm-hmm.
on any given time, it's a hard sell.
Mm-hmm.
When there is an entire 50 transient people set up camp.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it very hard. I don't know. There's got to be some ideas. There's got to be something that's going to work. I would like to be part of the committee that tries to do it. I don't have all the answers. I don't even know if I've given you one great answer. But I want to try.
Thank you. And I think being part of the entertainment district, you can bring another perspective to this board.
Yeah.
And I applaud you for getting the license.
Thank you. It's something new. It's got to
Right.
adapt and
Right.
thrive, I guess.
Right.
So I'm
Thank you.
trying. Yeah.
Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you.
Scott, you're up.
Take 5 minutes, go break. Hi. Do we need to take a couple minutes? Everybody okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Great. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Zeaches. Zeaches like peaches is how you do that. Maybe you might think of me as the outsider, but let's see, I've been in Colorado since 2005. Been a landowner since 2006. Property now in Aguilar, in 2 pieces here in Trinidad. Traveled extensively, formal education in hotels and restaurants. And let's see, what I would talk about, I had a chance to look at the Colorado Tourism Board website. I would like to see Trinidad and Los Animas County better represented there. I noted that, our airport, county airport's not even shown on the map. So, I think there's room there, especially with the new state park, and in fact, having 2 state parks, in the county. I think there's certainly room for improvement. What I would probably do is a little bit of research further into what makes Colorado Springs a destination, what makes Leadville, Colorado a destination. We've got 2 14ers, we've got 2 state parks. We've got the highest airport in the country, actually, for elevation. We've got a pretty good airport also. It's underused. That helps bring in tourism. It helps bring in, I'll use the word, or the term high dollar tourists. Certainly could help that. Moving a little bit closer into Trinidad, what I would say is I think we need a better representation between exit 11 and exit 18. Specifically, where is the Santa Fe Trail? Is it actually in the highway? Because that's where the sign is, between exit 11 and exit 15.
It's right down Main Street.
I'm sorry?
It's right down Main Street.
Or is it Santa Fe Trail where my business is? You know, does it go down and make a turn? I'm a little unclear about that, but I've certainly been looking at it. Internally within the committee, obviously to come on board, you want to spend some time looking and listening to what is currently going on, as well as how the other committee members act and what their priorities are. I would like to see more visual representation of what is happening in the city as far as tourism goes. If we break down tourism into those that are getting off the highway or traveling across the state and pass through this area, are they stopping for sustainability reasons, using the bathroom, grabbing a quick tank of gas and heading down the road, and then looking at how we can divert that tourist to perhaps become somebody that stays 4 or 5 hours or 2 or 3 days. I think I would, with my formal education in hotels, and of course with Cy on the board, I probably would want to talk to some of the other hotel operators in the community to better understand their clientele as a collective group. Which ones are by what percentage is just doing an overnight and then they're leaving, which ones are here for a longer period of time, and then look at intelligently and how we can, I would use the word entice instead of manipulate that audience. So we would want to entice them to stay for more than just calendar events like Artocade or the Blues Festival. These things are certainly important, and no doubt they bring a lot of revenue to the community. But what I think would be a new focus would be what makes Trinidad a destination. And that would be defined as a destination for 3 days or longer than a week. One other thing I'd like to point out is I now understand there's 3 of us candidates, and I believe there's only 1 or 2 vacancies. I don't know, but there may be a way to bring us all on board.
I asked that question.
Okay.
Already, they can't.
Okay.
I was looking to try and get a board of 7, because me and Nancy were stepping off, and I thought that all 3 candidates were great candidates. So, and it's what the board doesn't know too is I'm actually the one that told you to apply and Jody to apply, because I thought you guys were both great candidates to come on.
Thank you.
So, but it's only to 5.
The law was made by an initiation of the people that was put on the ballot. So since it's an initiation, with Bruce Billings at the time was the city attorney that oversaw it, to ordinarily change that amount, you need to go back to the people and put it to the voters. because it wasn't done through the city making a law and putting it on the ballot. It was due from a group of people, that's why it's called an initiation, because it was initiated and put on the ballot. So when that happens, the city tried to put it through 5 times and it failed. At the time, Harry Sarah was really depressed about it, and he was our city mayor, and he came forward to me and a few people and said, hey, I think as individual people, you could get it on the ballot, but we no longer can put it on the ballot. So it was done as an initiation. So the way that I understood it at the time, unless any laws have changed in the state of Colorado, is, here's a good example. Colorado's part of the US, right? But Colorado, along with other states, did an initiation to put on the ballot marijuana. So even though the federal government is our father and oversees us, Colorado and the states that did that, they went and did it their own. So the Colorado law on marijuana is an initiation by the people and put it on the ballot, and it passed. Although the federal government still doesn't agree about it.
Okay.
So the law here on the tourism board was done the same way. It was done as an initiation. So if we want to change that law, we, instead for 5 to 7 people, we would have to put it back on the ballot and say, do we allow for the tourism board to up by, that's the way it would be done.
And the reason why I'm coming off the board is because I got a lot of obligations right now, personally and business-wise, that I don't want to keep missing meetings. So I just felt that if I kept missing meetings, I'd be missing information.
Mhm.
So I'm
Mhm.
giving my spot up, and that's why I'm asking so many questions to you guys, is for
Okay.
that reason.
Sure. If I can just go back to that point and I guess a rhetorical question I would put forth is, would there be an opportunity within the tourism board to have I believe the title is called emeritus, or where a president comes off of the board, still works with the board to fill that position? Again, that's a rhetorical question. Another one would be is there an opportunity for the tourism board to have a task force?
There's not, there obviously is, there's also an opportunity that we could always explore on an advisory board, sort of like we're gonna be bringing a youth tourism board. I have the package almost ready to present to you guys. So we could do an advisory board to tourism, but the board itself.
Okay, and I know that's not what this the purpose
Yeah.
of
No,
today's
that's
meeting
okay,
is,
it's
but-
really good for everybody to understand all those little things, yeah,
Okay.
without a doubt.
That is the thing to understand, the lodging tax initiative
Mhm.
and the boards and commissions, information that's on there.
Okay.
That's very important, I believe, to
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
It kind of sets us in our guidelines.
And, so another question that Nancy was asking everybody, which I thought was an excellent question. Do you have any sort of festival or something that you would have thought of that you would like to bring to Trinidad?
I guess as I come here today, I would acknowledge the importance of the different festivals and calendar events, but I think my focus would be more of what makes this a destination. Those events bring people here, but when we look at other things in the state as more destinations, of course you can pick the Rocky Mountain area, and they've got the ski resorts, and of course they've over the years have learned to transition that to be more of an all-season type of a destination. I think we here in Trinidad need to look at the same thing. In addition to events, one that's personal for me, I'd like to see a jazz festival. Something starts out small, complements the blues festival, so perhaps that.
Are they doing that? I thought I heard that. Did I see that
I don't
somewhere?
know if they're
There's
gonna bring in, the
jazz.
Blues Fest is going a different direction with different venues
Yeah.
for the 3 months. They're bringing it downtown instead
Okay.
of Central Park.
So that would be a good opportunity.
That'd be a good opportunity to bring your jazz band in one of those that month. I don't know what they're planning on doing it, they're getting the schedule now, they would like to do June, July, and August, and, instead of, and bring it 3 times downtown Trinidad, like the prefix, so that's what they're working on.
Well,
Different venues of music too.
One thing about the entertainment district, it's open for any venue, any time of the year. It's just creating that venue for that area. Me being a lifelong resident here, I never thought that would be possible on Main and Commercial. But to stand up on that stage, this last year and see the people walking from the bricks to Main and Commercial, all the way down to Moose's in Main and Commercial, and all the way down 2 city blocks, or 1 city block on Commercial was an eye-opener for me as to what can be created here. You know, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for more opportunities to bring people in the city. One of the biggest things I see is, I was able to see the tax revenue that's generated through the city through the 12-month period. From January to March, it's basically flat. There's like minimal sales tax in those months. Starts to climb a little bit in April, March and April, and that's because of spring break. Texas coming to Colorado. Starts to pick up in January, but it peaks in August, and then it starts to go down. I would like to see those months, some of those months that are not peaking, be lifted. We have $20,000 each year for someone to come in and create a new festival. We'll give you up to $10,000 for advertising. And that's what we want to see. We want to see someone come in and create festivals or something to generate activity in Trinidad.
So a lot of people don't know, to tag on to what Tom is saying, is like the Artocade was started with the Tourism Board. It was funded for 3 years to order and get it going. And the, you know, the big ones like the Blues Fest, we still help support because we really believe in that.
I think one of the festivals that we did last year, which was a big event, was the Comedy Fest.
Yeah.
Which that's something that we sponsored as well.
Yeah. So we're looking to really look at another festival.
Our
that can
goal is
start
to bring
grow.
people in to spend those 3 nights.
Yeah.
Those 2 nights in Trinidad. That's where we generate our money from the hotels. And we really, that's what we like to see. But a lot of local things too.
Scott, are you familiar with how the entertainment district works?
Meaning,
Okay, so I'll just paraphrase for you. You can go to the entertainment district board and propose an event. But the person proposing an event, such as a jazz festival, is responsible for the coordination, the setup, porta potty, security. So if you have an event, you can take that to the entertainment district and to tourism. So what then the entertainment district board does with their director, which is also our director, she coordinates that with the city for the closure of Main Street. So if you have an event like that, that's how you would pursue it.
okay.
So if you have an event, I'm the president of the entertainment district, which with Nancy's husband Howard, and then we just brought on Jeff and Brian came on board too.
And
I
then
think Jody's gonna
Jody
come on too. So the whole point of that board is we don't have enough, like we're looking to do more. So especially, and I know it's kind of off subject on this, but really what we're trying to do at the entertainment district is work with the tourism board, so we're mixing both
But-
businesses together as
But
far as.
anybody can bring an
Yeah.
event forward.
And
But we just need ideas. We
Yeah.
don't have the ideas right now. That's what we're lacking.
and blessedly so.
And the time.
Yeah, the city of Trinidad, the boards that they have set up, the work that City Hall has done to make sure that there's boards for every department is really impressive for a city the size. The problem that we have is really finding good people to help do the events and to volunteer time, because the city itself is set up. How many boards are in the city?
Oh, boy. We have over 60 volunteers that serve on boards, closer to 70.
It's an amazing platform what the city has done, but then to pull off those events, we need people to help.
Well, yeah, you need to pull off the events because the Blues
Yeah.
Fest they go to the entertainment district to get their authority to use the entertainment district, but the Blues Fest, you know, that you go
And by
from
the-
there and everything.
The entertainment district is approved from the city and the state. This isn't just something that's made up in Trinidad.
Right, I understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really quite impressive for a town this size, the amount that we have, and we're glad you're part of it. Does anybody else have any more questions, cause we can go on?
Just want to
Okay,
clarify, so are you saying that the tourism board only has funding for calendar events and not to do things to make this a destination?
No,
No,
this
no,
is a
okay.
destination.
Yeah.
It is a
It
destination.
is a destination.
Yeah.
We advertise the destination.
Yeah, we do have many weekend travelers. It's like Jody said, most of our businesses do recognize that this is a tourist destination.
And we advertise in many, many magazines
Right.
to bring those people here. That's where our money goes to.
Could we use more things like, and I only mention these as examples, not that I want them to come here, like Garden of the Gods or Dinosaur Park or.
When we do that, we do that.
We have those things here.
Well, we don't have Garden of the Gods.
No, but do we
But
have-
we have Fisher Peak,
Right?
we have the Highway 12 destination routes, okay? We have, a lot of architectural features
Right.
downtown. We have the Prisoner of War Camp out east of town, which a lot of tourists go to. We have several things.
Right.
We're not magnificently big
Mhm.
like Colorado Springs.
Mhm.
And that's one thing that as a tourism board member, you have to understand. We're a small town, not a big city.
No, it's okay, I just was trying to better understand that, yes, I understand that Trinidad and Los Angeles County has these things. We go to the Ludlow Monument, or as you say, out to Stonewall, things like that. So, was a two-pronged question. First is to understand, can the tourism board help to fund those events, or, those destination points?
That's what we do.
That's what we do,
Oh,
and
okay.
advertise.
That's what we do.
So I got that, I got that.
That's what we
Through
do.
I
advertising.
got that.
Yeah.
I would actually say no. I mean, what I would say is I would want someone on the tourism board that's supporting Trinidad, not those things that are pushing people out of Trinidad.
Mhm.
Like, one of the biggest things that we saw in a magazine is they spent a ton of money on a past magazine, then they had pictures of Blue Lake and something else on
Right,
Twin Peaks. That wasn't even part of Trinidad. That wasn't even, and it was a ton of money. It was a huge chunk of the tourism's money. So really what I'm looking for is I want someone on the board that is pushing more of Trinidad, downtown Trinidad, more of the people, the restaurants and the businesses that are in Trinidad.
Mhm.
That's what we're supporting. We're supporting Trinidad. I'm not supporting all the stuff around Trinidad. I'm supporting
that's-
what's in Trinidad. That's kind of what
That's okay.
I would like to see, because
Certainly
I'm in
acknowledge.
business. I want someone
Right.
on board that's supporting my business, not supporting those other things. Those other things will come beside it.
Right,
So
with
that's part of the
acknowledgement
state's part.
that Highway 12 kind of starts or ends in Trinidad as you make that loop.
Yeah.
With that acknowledgement, I certainly
Yeah.
get your point.
Yeah.
If you just take in mind for a minute, that Welcome Center at one point in one year, I think it was 1989, brought 150,000 people into that Welcome Center. If you just had 5,000 of those people trickle along into downtown, that's my biggest thing now, is to use that as a tool for the tourism, to put it in a location to get those people off that highway to trickle into town.
Well,
Okay.
there's also a study that was done, and it hasn't been really, from my understanding, in years past, grants were sent out to different marketing firms to tell this board the type of tourist, age, rank, economy, or economic level, and the newly seated board will get a, training on that. So the effect of recruiting and courting tourists is new. We've also moved away from hard copy advertising to more online and internet advertising. Hard copy advertising is, the shelf life on it is minimal. It's a 30-second look at, people lay it down and they never look at it again. However, if it's on your phone, you're gonna constantly, through algorithms, continue to receive those updates. So we've changed our method of operation in advertising and marketing. And so this new study that we will be getting, I guess, sometime in February for the training, that even defines more where this tourism board will take their dollars. So it's just unfortunate that you weren't aware of that, but also I hope that it becomes publicized and available to the public, so the public can see, our community members can see who are these tourists coming to town, and what are they going to do here, and why are they coming?
Okay. Well, I'd like to go back to, at one time I mentioned to Audra down at exit 11, there's nothing there. And I visualize the people who come, well, all we have to do is go start at the Raton Pass and turn around and head back north. And look at what is the visual expression of Colorado as people come north. Obviously Trinidad's the first major city. Exit 11 is kind of the first major one. Again, it's where the sustainability meets the long-term tourist. And there we don't have anything that points people down Santa Fe Trail, the road off of the highway, that says this is where the historic Santa Fe Trail begins. This is the way to downtown Trinidad. I would maintain that that's an excellent first step to really help get our northbound traffic as it's entering into Colorado and divert them into the downtown area.
But see, that's counterproductive to the Welcome Center.
Yeah. And we're trying to get people down to the Welcome
I'm a
Center.
little, so I just wanna step back to come to your point. Are you
if
saying
we
it's
put-
gonna move?
Here's,
Trinidad,
Possibly,
the
yes.
tourism?
it
Okay.
may not,
Okay.
but there's a possibility. My thing about exit 11, you already get food and drink, you get fuel, you get on I-25 and you head out and you miss the Main Street exit. If the Welcome Center is there, they'll get their information, they'll get their gas, they'll get their food, and they're off. My thing is to bring that Welcome Center in the downtown area, in close right off of I-25, possibly right off of exit 13, what's this exit off of Commercial?
14?
14. Those two exits
Mhm.
is, I believe, is where I would like to see the Welcome Center go.
Okay.
Because I would like some of that traffic in the downtown area. If we would put that on exit 11, we would lose those people.
And just, I wanna be clear here, are you saying that the Welcome Center needs to be at the exit?
Well,
No.
you know, that's
No.
what people,
They don't have to.
that's what people do. People get on and off these exits.
Okay,
If
'cause
it's visible off of these exits.
I wanna clarify that my suggestion was to better provide sign at exit 11 to get them go down Santa Fe Trail.
But we don't want them to
We,
go down
we,
Santa.
we did a project of wayfinding signs and, it didn't work well. It was
Okay.
done about 10 years ago, I believe is when it happened. And a lot of those wayfinding signs right now have information on them that are places that are closed.
Mhm.
So, you know, those have to be relooked at, those wayfinding signs. But I believe us having the Welcome Center, I want it close into the downtown area, to where we're
Okay.
bringing those people into the downtown area.
Scott, what I think you're trying to tell us is that you want to push people down Santa Fe Trail for the old Santa Fe Trail, and we're trying to get people down I-25 to get off the Main Street exit.
Really what I wanna
I think you do both.
suggest.
We want to do both.
And absolutely, and better define so that the tourist knows what they're doing. You know, in other words, as you go past, the highway department on I-25 going north, Walmart's over across the other way, you're passing the highway department, there's a sign that says Historic Santa Fe Trail. Why is that out there on I-25 is my rhetorical question.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
where
that's
this
a-
whole
that's a-
conversation.
That's a good question. I do remember that when CDOT, or Colorado was building all the, bathrooms on the I-25 corridor, that there were a lot of people that were really upset, and it fell into that time period too, Tom, that they built the one out at exit 20 or 18, because they felt that that would stop people from coming into town, and that did affect some people. So we have two problems. There's that 18 that has been built in the last 15 years, and then, I mean, plain and clear, you know, you go from 150 to 15,000 people when the exits moved. It shows that it really has affected tourism in the downtown area. Well,
Even if you got a percentage of that 150 to come downtown, we have to make our direction that way, to get them to come down Main Street.
Yeah. Yeah, if they got off, if we had a Welcome Center right on Main Street, it would be one of the biggest boosts for town, just because people do stop at Welcome Centers on the highway.
We want them to be visually enticed to come to downtown. coming down Santa Fe Trail, it's not retail, it's not commercial, it's lodging, it's, a little of this and a little of that. But when they come in and they stop by Sonic and they're either heading east or heading west, we want them to find a parking spot and stay downtown. That's the general revenue, the large part of the city's revenue.
So then do we wanna use the parking underneath the highway and redirect the trolley to let them park underneath the highway where Habaneros is in that neighborhood, let them park their vehicle there, and use the trolley bus to tote them around to different places?
Well, we're always revising the trolley route,
We're always
but the
revising.
trolley is limited as to where it can go because of its suspension.
Well, you're right,
Okay.
we are trying to work at, trying to figure out how we can get it down, and that's one of our goals this year to all of you. It's one of our goals is to get more people to come down.
We are looking for major signage that we could put up
Whatever we can
to
do.
bring people to our Welcome Center.
That's
We want
attractive.
them back to our Welcome Center.
And I'd like to just come back to you, Camilla, and say that it was only a suggestion, it was only an example. I think that we should get them from east, west, north, and
Oh,
south.
no, I'm not saying there was
The
anything
people to
wrong.
get off of
And
the
that's,
highway.
Get
and
them off
that's,
there.
and
That's what
that's,
we want
and
them off
that
the
is
highway.
by going down the road of wayfinding signs
Yeah,
with new information.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
okay.
You know, is that sense. My thing about Santa Fe Trail is it's not traffic highway. It's not traffic friendly because of its development. It's not wide enough, you know, to get a lot of traffic off of I-25. You know, our best bet is exit 13, this one right down Main Street. That's my vision, anyway. You
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
And I
it's-
think
it's-
the state tourism's vision, they want the Welcome Center to be partnered with things like museums, gas stations, that type of thing. They want a one-stop shop. The city of Dinosaur.
Yes.
How many visitors? They're the largest, or they're the most populous visitor center in the state of Colorado, and it's in the middle of nowhere. But why?
The thing,
Because it has a dinosaur museum.
yeah.
And it sits on the highway.
It's a complex they built, it's a welcome center.
It's a multi-million-dollar center.
And a museum, and it
So-
is bringing people off, it has hands-on, it has pottery, it has just everything of that area, it's pretty unbelievable. I have an article on it, I thought I had it in this magazine, but I don't.
So it's a pretty complex board, really, when you look at it, because it deals with economics, tourism, historical,
And a lot of people
Grants.
don't realize that we are working with the Welcome Center very closely. We are trying to, that is our,
And they really are working hard.
and they are
Marty's
working
doing a
hard.
great
We have a
job.
wonderful Welcome Center, we have a wonderful director, and we want to just keep moving forward with our Welcome Center. And that's a big project, that
Mhm.
is.
When,
They take
when
a lot
I-
of money.
When I got on the board, I thought it was just grants. That's what I thought it was grants. But today, it is just, it's gotten so much bigger. It's the Welcome Center, it's the grants, it's being able to work with the college and all of the boards to make a better Trinidad. You know, it's gonna take all of us.
Tourism,
It's gonna
events.
take all of us to create, the city to create a destination here, whether it be day trippers, weekend, or by week, like you said. It's gonna take all of these entities to create this buzz.
Does anybody have any more questions for Scott?
No.
I just have, where's your form of hospitality schooling you mentioned?
Midland, Michigan, Northwood Institute.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Okay, your turn, Camilla.
Oh, come on.
I can't wait for this.
You can't wait to hear. My name is Camilla Campbell, as you guys all know. I love working with you. I am gonna miss you too very much, Joey, Nancy. I look forward to hopefully continue working with our beloved, our lovely little city. I've been in business for 14 years down at my little shop, and I see tours on a daily basis. And the one thing about the businesses in Trinidad, we have really got to promote our little town, and we do. I have a lady that works part-time for me, and she could sell a mountain, guys sight unseen, but she loves Trinidad and she loves talking with all the tourists that come to our town, and I think that is huge for us. So, I have nothing else to say. Do you have any questions?
I think I do, Derek, here real quick.
You're digging deep, aren't you?
Thank you, guys, thank you.
We know your viewpoints.
And it
because we hear them
is wonderful
weekly.
working with this group, even though sometimes it is wonderful.
Okay.
It is wonderful to promote our beautiful little city,
And
and I
I-
enjoy it.
And I really appreciate all of you three. I appreciate your passion for Trinidad and the experience that we had today. And if any of you, whoever doesn't make it, I really hope that if we start an advisory board to the tourism board, which would be really cool, that you would partake in that, because we really believe in Trinidad and in tourism. All of us that are sitting up here, we wouldn't have gone through the process that we go through.
And I wanna encourage, I know this is I know it's gonna be very hard for me. Don't let it discourage you. Keep going, because it's wonderful to see young faces out there, trying to move forward. So, just continue. I just love your little town to death, and keep working hard for it, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Audra, the protocol with these, do we fill them out and hand them to you?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody take the time to fill them out?
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Yes.
You don't have to leave, no, it's, council,
It's
council. The board has, asked that they have written ballots to decide. So the result will be read aloud, and, after the meeting, it becomes public information. But,
Yeah.
so you're welcome to wait and find out the results if you'd like, or however you want.
And then I think you will get a notice of city council, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you will get a notice of city council for the meeting, and you need to be present, okay? Alright?
Okay.
Thank you.
So you're gonna do it all right now?
Yeah.
I'll just leave the camera running then,
Yeah.
just a minute or two, okay.
That's fine. I'm just waiting for.
You know what, you're not finishing your water, can you? Your water?
I didn't even open this
That's
one.
why I asked.
Oops, sorry. I damaged you right there.
Who am I missing one from?
You're missing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's great. It's so important that they have like every year an annual recap. It would be easy to be on the board if you were here, but. Yeah, yeah, you're right, it should be that. Joey was saying they should have all the information when they
Before they even apply, they're
I told them, seems like the rest of the banks are getting it. That's part of it.
Does she have vacation? I'm not sure.
Won't get it all.
Yeah, since you're going off the board, just verify for me, but I think we have to do a recount for the board.
Cool, yeah. Do you know what an isolation tank is? It's where you float in salt water, no light, no sound, kind of like a deep meditation.
All those people.
Or like,
I don't think it's mine, maybe it is mine.
No, this
Should my phone have a
is just,
ring?
No, I mean, that might not be what you're doing, but the concept.
Is there a different, can we do 1, 2, 3
Yeah.
here and have different point systems?
yeah.
Would you do 1, 2, 3?
We wanna get you from the day you show up to the day you leave.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
How are you, sweetie? What's going on? My daughter's leaving Pittsburgh.
I'm so glad you're the one that's
She's on
here.
car.
Decisions.
Yeah, it is closer, honey. Yeah, it is much closer than 26 hours versus 20 minutes.
But isn't it the way
She actually committed to that for a while, until they stopped.
No.
Like, I mean, but I think it's supposed to be supposed to vote until.
Yeah, if you were doing a formal
Okay.
vote,
You know,
out loud,
I always
for that
say
first, what I would say is for the
He
village,
wanted to
you're
go
gonna have
upstairs
to
to
do
get
a
closer, and he's
roll
got a,
I
he texted
did
to the
appreciate that's one of the
and he wanted to go.
I know.
But have it
It's a tie.
between those two for that third state, Jody and so that's where you're gonna have to make a decision.
I tried it.
What you can do, there's papers on your desk, if you want to pass along your, final vote and see if you can break that tie.
There's only five of us.
the way 3 works.
Oh, just the way it, yeah, the way it.
That's why I said a point system, we'll change that to who was number 1 selection, they got 3 points, number 2 selection, 2 points, number 1.
Well, you have that with this,
Can we do our third candidate vote with
Couple days ago.
numerical value?
Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So and so, like 3 points, 4 points,
But it'd come out, but wouldn't it come out the same?
No, it wouldn't.
not
No, it
necessarily.
wouldn't.
Because some are more weighty than others.
Yeah, it's all about the weight.
Beet juice, and I was making
You get to
smoothies
walk
with it, now I found it up at the.
I remember.
Good election.
Really?
I'm done.
Well, and I also,
So what is the number we can go up to,
So-
or down to?
So,
1 to 5?
well, wait a second, I might have done that, it
that's one of the
initially
ones that I don't
different
think
wrong,
is
so
there and stuff like that.
does,
The cost of it.
so number 1 would get 3 points by you, number 2 would get 2 points,
Half
number 3
gallon
would get 1 point.
beer juice.
But we categorize them, who's your first choice,
Why
your
am I
second
cleaning
choice,
the
and your
machine?
third choice.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3.
First
First choice will end up getting 3 points, which he counts as 2. But we had to do it this way, we're at council
Like
all
it,
the time, it
'cause I
seems
tried
like.
it for a
First
while.
place is
Tried it,
what?
it works.
What, you put down your first place, your second
Is
place.
first place is 3?
But she'll count as.
No,
Yeah,
no,
so
no.
you number one,
Okay,
you want them to pay it, I will do
Okay.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll verify the fences.
It's one of the food allergies I have. Yeah.
That's a good one.
No,
That would
it
be
is.
taken right
Want me
there.
to pass them
I
down?
love you. She
Oh, I do
said.
too.
I
When we see those at Rip,
Did
then
you
we
get
keep
yours
those
over
ones.
there, Tom?
I need a number from I know what it is, but
Yeah.
You have to.
I don't get how we're dealing with it.
Just in order of priority, who's
Just
your
one,
number
two.
1 choice, who's your number 2 choice, who's your number 3 choice?
I'm not doing a lot of scribbling here, I just want you to know you guys.
Here, do it, write it, 1, 2, 3 in there.
I don't know the rest of them.
That's still gonna come out the same.
No, it's
No, it
weighted
won't.
by the numbers. That's why you put Mrs. Smith, number 1, Mrs. Jones, number 2, whoever you want to be your first choice. Who's your second choice, who's your third choice? For we need a third candidate vote. So you're basically re-voting for 3 people. Who's your first choice, your second choice, and your third choice? No, it won't. Not everybody's in weighting the value of that candidate.
So the
is the
value,
same.
like, if you like 3 points now.
Then you're voting for yourself at the top. Well, or at the top, I'm sorry. So number 1, number 2, you don't really care.
Number 3 is who won.
Yes.
targeted the person.
But
There's three of them, and we were doing
Isn't that correct,
that's
Joe?
been 10 years.
Like, 1, 2, 3, number 3 is your top choice. Yeah.
Don't do that.
3.
No,
That one.
well,
Yes.
you rank
Zoom
them
in
1,
and
2,
stuff.
3, so whoever your first person is, you go 1.
Right.
Your second person, 2.
Yeah, and the
Your
last
third
is
person.
3. That's good.
But then she goes,
The points
the
are
points are
opposite.
opposite.
But it's-
One.
Yeah.
1 gets 3,
Two
2 gets 2, and then 3 gets 1.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, there has to
We
be.
used to do this.
So-
I'll stand by my
So they're in privacy. I don't know about.
Did that clarify
Is
it?
this really, this
Oh, you have one more to go.
I'm clear on it.
I'm not clear on that.
Are you clear in your findings?
I'm
How
fine.
you rate? Okay.
I'm fine.
But I
I'm
think,
not
I think
clear.
that camera
I
system,
don't
that
think
they,
I
that pop-up
got
camera
it.
system that they did.
But,
Whoever your first choice is, it's a 1.
oh
Whoever
no,
your
see,
second
their
choice-
first choice, they told me is 3.
No,
No.
you need to get your thing done. You have to understand that correctly.
Yeah.
You put who is your first choice, who's your second choice, and
Right.
then Audra figure out how to
And
put
then
it
I do the
system.
points.
Right.
Joey will
Right.
verify points. Look. If you rank somebody number 1, they're gonna get 3 points.
Gotcha. I guess I
As
needed the
you rank
visual,
them,
I need the visual.
Yes, I'm
What
a
I
visual
tried to
person too, so
explain.
you just need to rank them
Right.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
Well, it's really close, you guys, so Yeah. that's a good.
So it is, we had 2 people tied,
Yes.
so, and there's no tiebreaker here.
Camilla right now, right?
Yeah. True.
It's a hanging Chad. Right? For those of you that remember that. Florida.
20 years ago, it's hard to believe.
Yeah, this isn't gonna work for me. I'm probably not voting like that.
Got everyone there?
Yes, I thought it'd be done, I guess we talked to people a lot.
You guys just kept going
I
on.
was like, I told my wife, I'm like, I'll be back.
That's why we have a close election.
I'm looking, I'm gonna leave.
Because
Yeah,
we ask
it's
good
close.
questions.
Close.
We ask really good questions.
You think we're gonna hold the election?
Yeah, okay, Joey. Time to use them out. If you wanna do your own list, you're welcome to. Here you go. I would do numbers next time. Or let me start doing this, and you just verify it again.
No, what's going on this one?
Yeah, I think,
So who did you choose?
yeah, I'm sorry, I just,
There you are.
I looked at her piece of paper and that's what told me.
Do your own number.
Shanghai, Hong Kong.
Well, this one we don't have to read.
Yes.
And they're
Oh,
all,
we do?
they're not only
Yes, because they're part of the
American,
ranking.
like United and American Airlines, but they're also Air China and Taiwan.
What's the piece on there?
What?
Cause I put one,
Was there
For
some
you,
emphasis,
yes,
like,
because you're putting down the points associated with that one.
they're celebrating like
So,
their
you
new
have
year or
to use
whatever.
points.
Oh. Something's wrong.
So one
It's
goes,
backwards.
I'm still backwards.
You just don't pay attention
Just
to
be
it,
quiet.
just don't even, just the people that vote, you put it 1, 2, 3, and then the people that calculate.
No, but I think,
No, number 1 candidate gets 3 points because they're the
But
most
you
valuable.
don't, yeah, you don't put 3 down though, you just put 1 for whoever your first choice was.
Here, sniff some sugar. You'll feel better.
So what's this test of just on us,
Yeah, I did see where they were talking about that, I didn't realize.
Well, yeah, but, okay, this is second
It'd
vote,
be second.
and so,
So then you can fill out that?
right, because you're trying to break a tie anyhow, so I'm going strictly by numbers now.
You guys both get the same figure?
she's grinding her teeth, that one
No,
right there.
no.
Well, see, no, I know, but see, then I didn't do this. That's what I'm saying, you can't.
What do you mean you didn't?
Cause I didn't, there's no,
You're-
You're going on yours like
but
grade.
she did.
like,
That's not gonna, it'll be next year.
really should be the highest.
Do they need to walk out of the room and have a
No.
conversation?
Yes.
We've done that.
Yeah, would you like us to leave?
Go walk out, we'll have
We'll go.
conversation.
Come on,
Uh,
come on, kids.
This
Come on,
is-
Scott.
What's that?
They're trying to figure this out, but they
Oh,
need to
they want us
talk,
to
they need
make-
to talk amongst
Okay.
themselves.
So
So we're gonna,
Okay, so this is Jackie over here?
So just don't, just
So
do
they
zero.
get zero.
Guys, I'm gonna turn the camera off if you guys are talking.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
No, no, it's
Alright.
So why don't, there's nothing on there, then just do that. So this one's strictly
Right.
point.
That person would get 0 points for that. Okay, so this one, look at that one, and look at this one,
Okay, so,
cause yours differs from
I
mine.
know, that's it.
Okay, so,
So 3, 2,
wait, you're starting with this one?
oh, so that'd be a
Start
1.
over, that's gonna be a 1.
Oh my gosh, this is.
Your ones are
confusing.
gonna, I mean, your twos are
Yeah.
gonna stay twos.
Yeah. So this will be 1, 2.
Hi, Tom.
Cool.
So that's a 6.
You're getting ready for the Super
No,
Bowl
this
game.
one, 'cause
And
50
how do you-
years I've waited.
And how do you
50
feel about
years.
that?
So that's
How do you feel, I'm so
really
happy for you. How do you feel about that, big thing that's out there? Should Super Bowl Sunday be moved to Saturday so people
No.
I haven't seen that.
can? Oh, yeah, there's some big polls going on all over the place.
Just so people
in
can
Sundays.
recover.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, is
Oh, so
more
that means-
people in it to go even be excited and have parties. Because it happens on a Saturday night versus a Sunday night. I've just seen it on the television shows. What do you think? I mean, that's what the,
The logic makes sense because
Uh-huh.
it used to be they played the next week,
uh-huh.
you know, and then they gave them an extra week. And so the players get rusty when they're not playing,
Uh-huh.
you know, so I think it would work.
So if you would like to announce, it's, these are initials.
You wanna bring them
I'm
back?
sorry, not that one. That's
Yeah.
it's not.
I'm gonna think it's in
It's
this.
the-
Guys, come on back.
So it is, so the 3 new members
Come on back,
are
guys.
Camilla, Amanda, and Scott.
You can announce it.
Okay.
You need my notes now.
Do you get it?
Take your own back.
Yeah, I still do.
A couple times.
Honey, I, look at
Should we
this,
stand?
it's dropped out 4
Should we
times.
I
stand?
know, it's on my.
It was really so close, guys. We had to re-vote and use another methodology to make sure that it would flow. But we'd like to say that the 3 new candidates are Camilla, Amanda, and Scott. And Jody, we love everything that you said. Obviously, it was so tight. We hope you come in and we hope that if we do an advisory board that you're part of that.
Absolutely.
And thank you.
You are very welcome.
I'm glad to get you on my entertainment district.
I know, I know. I didn't know if I was gonna have the time to do both, but I was gonna try.
There's a win.
There's a
Yeah.
win.
For sure.
So,
Yes, thank you for coming on the entertainment district, really do really love it, and thank you for getting that liquor license, you're gonna
Yes.
thoroughly enjoy it when it comes to
I
the
am.
booze.
Clearly.
And Tom has some information, he's gonna go ahead and give you guys, and then you'll be also updated with all the things that we accomplished in the last year. And Jody, we'll hand that out to you too if you'd like, cause I.
It wouldn't hurt to know,
Yeah.
So you all know that, I will prepare something for size signature, and we'll ask that you appear at the next regular city council meeting on February the 4th, for council's consideration. They're the final say. Okay?
Yep.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, and I would like to add that it's refreshing to see this kind of interest for this board in particular, because the demands on of the people who serve on this board, I think are, pretty huge. That you all have your own businesses, and, the kinds of businesses that you have huge demands that are day and nighttime demands, and so it's really refreshing to see this kind of interest, and it's very much appreciated.
I wanna
Yes,
thank
thank
all
you.
3 of you, really, I really do, because it was exciting to see, you know, and, it was, thank
And
you.
we're only going up from here all the time.
Sorry, guys. I gotta go open my business.
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned?
Meeting.
Meeting